Hi, I'm Wes Allen with DM Tales, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the different types of players I've had at my table over the last few years. Let's roll it! Before I get started, please consider doing the trifecta of liking, subscribing, and commenting on this video. It helps out the channel a lot more than I ever really even knew, and I always appreciate it. Also, want to give a shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for supporting this channel and helping me expand what I can do with it. If you'd like to join my Patreon community, you'll get access to the DM Tales Discord. You'll get to see first drafts of upcoming articles that I have coming up on the DM Tales website, which often become videos, as well as occasional comics I create based on moments that happen at my different sessions. And one day, I do promise, I have them laid out. I just have to finish editing them. I'll get some of my one-shots for EZD6 up there as well. The link is in the description below. And if you want to check out some cool shirts like this one, check out the DM Tales Teespring store. That link is also in the description below. All profits just go to help support the channel and make sure that I can do some more cool things with it. Now, let's get on to our featured content. So I've had a bunch of different player types at my tables over the last few years, and I thought I'd just share some of their quirks. What this is not is an RPG horror story list, because there's so many of those on the internet right now, and we don't need another one of them. I just want to acknowledge that people have fun in different ways, and I'd like to celebrate them, even if there are some that I have more affinity with than others. This is not an exhaustive list by any stretch, but it is a representation of what I have had at my tables over the last couple of years. So, without further ado, let me tell you, sometimes a player plays a game for years, has no idea what the system is. This may be the type of player that makes me grin more than any other. Because a person who will sit down at a table, physical or virtual, and roll dice for years on end, that is someone I appreciate. And when a person does this while having no idea what game they're actually playing, all I can do is applaud. This happened with my basic fantasy RPG group. We've been playing for about 3 years. A person jumped in who had never played an RPG before, was so excited to play, and has been playing with us consistently for 3 years now. He flew up to EcclesiaCon, and I asked him, hey, we're going to sit down and play what game for the first time? And he didn't actually know. And he smiled and grinned. He just thought it was the funniest thing. I thought it was absolutely hysterical. And he's just been there the whole time. And I love that. No idea what he's playing. To him, he's rolling cool dice and hanging out with friends. And that is someone that I love to have at my table. Knows every aspect of how a game is designed and will make their character all powerful. Some folks just enjoy min-maxing their characters, and they're going to pursue that in any system they play. And if the system does not allow them to min-max a character, that's just not a system that they are going to enjoy. For myself, I'm rather adverse to game systems which encourage min-maxing, so it's just not my favorite style of play. So this is a player type that I need to be intentional about including at the table, because they want something that is contrary to the way that I normally play. Want to be open to them being able to do the cool stuff that they want to do, but at the same time, I like more flawed characters that have open weaknesses. It's just part of how I'm wired. I will say this, usually these folks come up with some crazy ideas in the game, so it does all work out. We'll play any system, but we'll almost never buy the books. Players of this type want to roll dice and they want to have fun. Investing money in all the books, though, that's not something that holds interest for them. They tend to be quick studies on the way a game works, though, so if a game is offered, they're usually the first to jump in and say, oh yeah, I'll try that. And for my part, I'm guessing that this is the majority of folks around any table. It's just that some folks pick up new systems faster than others, that a lot of people just don't go buy all the books. They just want to roll dice and they'll sit down and play anything. And they're always cool with me. Never plays a human. This player's catchphrase is, I play a human in real life every day. I have no notes. Is looking for catharsis. These players use the game to express things they feel unable to express in real life. This need may emerge from a past trauma or a miserable job or even just a bad day at work, but it's often expressed as see the thing, hit the thing. And because everybody needs catharsis at some point in their lives, I'm pretty sure that most folks at the table become this player at one point or another in their journey. And for myself, again, I know there are days where I am happy. Games usually have things I can attack with my big, sharp, pointy weapons. Now, I don't often manage to hit those things because dice hate me, but I am glad they exist. Keeps trying to use 5e mechanics. It's what these players know, and it's what they like, but they also enjoy playing, so they will join any table to which they are invited. When these folks play, though, they're going to keep trying to make any game into 5e by advocating for things like attribute increases or new special moves when they level up. This is not often done on purpose. It's not like, well, 5e is so much better. It's just what they know. And so it's how every game gets framed. And when something cool happens or when they get a new toy, they expect to get attribute bonuses or new special moves because that's what they know. Now, in reality, I've mentioned 5e here, but that can be replaced with any system with which a player is most familiar. It's just that because 5e is so prevalent right now, that's the game that's been the baseline for the players I've had at my table. That's the one everybody kind of goes to as their default. Just wants to play 5e. Now, similar to players who try to make every game into 5e, these folks know what they like and that's where they're going to stay. They may try other systems because, yeah, they want to have fun. They want to sit around a table with their friends, but because they've spent so many years understanding the nuances of 5e, they're going to get back to it as fast as they can. That is where they have fun. And since that is what playing games is all about, well, that's okay by me. I just don't get to play with them much because I don't enjoy running 5e at all, and frankly, I'd just rather play something else if it's offered. Enjoys the show. These folks want music, they want terrain, they want lights, they want the whole kit. And they also dive deep into their character and spend time developing how their PC both acts and speaks. For these players, the spectacle of the session is as important as what's happening inside the game world itself. And I have to tell you, this can be huge fun for everyone, triggering any number of memorable moments. In fact, my Numenera group's name, Murder Fire 13B, comes because one of these players was sitting at the table. But minimalist setups just don't hit their sweet spot, so they can lose interest in a bit. It just doesn't scratch the itches that they have. The hobby space is wide. It's just good to remember that. Is a chaos demon. In any game situation, these players will do something odd, bordering on nonsensical. Something like procuring a number of cabbages, which shouldn't even technically exist in the world in which they're playing, so they can be lit on fire and tossed at people. This is often done to provide comic relief for the table, which can bring the type of levity that other players need to relax and get into the game. Sometimes, however, the chaos can derail serious moments, or it can take attention away from important details that are in the process of being communicated. So there does need to be a balance. Now, my superhero character, the Bolt, which I play with John Fredericks of Sharp Mountain Games every now and again, he frees me to play as a chaos demon, and I have to tell you, it's a lot of fun. But it does take a bit of work to make sure the chaos isn't taking moments away from other players. Can't lean into failures. All right, so confession time. This was me when I jumped back into the hobby at the start of the pandemic. Dice, they hate me. They always have. And it was so frustrating when my paladin swung a sword and missed for most of the campaign twice, while the casters all blew up the scene with all their cool gizmos and gadgets and spells. I can say from experience, however, that players who can't lean into failure, they miss out on one of the more enjoyable aspects of the game. That moment when you fail and you have to deal with what happens next. I have learned to appreciate those moments. It was pretty much done out of necessity because, like I said, dice hate me, but I have learned it nevertheless. And if you have someone who's frustrated by the way the dice don't roll in their favor, the way that I was frustrated back when I started playing again, help them find ways to make failure fun, and it might change the whole game for them. There are some of the fun player types I've had at my tables over the past few years. So what are some of the enjoyable quirks your players have had at your tables? Leave a comment with that below. But please do not share horror stories. We have enough of those. Instead, share some of the ways your players have made their sessions memorable and fun, both for themselves and for others at the table, and oftentimes in ways you may not have expected. Really, leave a comment. I want to see it. So coming up on the channel, I've got a whole lot of things. Household at this point has become my version of Jimmy Kimmel and Matt Damon. It is coming. I am going to finish this book and get it to you because the game system's really cool and I want to share it with people. It's just life has gotten in the way and I have not been able to read it. Also, I just got in the mail my Kickstarter reward for the Knave 2nd Edition Kickstarter campaign, and I am really looking forward to sharing that with folks. I may do a character build because it's so simple just to show you how it works. It's a really simple game that I think folks are going to enjoy a whole lot. I was also just out at Free RPG Day. Want to show you some of the cool things that I picked up, including a tournament campaign module for Dragonbane, which is currently my favorite system to run and play. And I do want to show you the 2 Monty Cook game books that I brought up, 2 white books for the Cypher system that I've been looking at picking up for quite a bit now. Hecking Good Doggos is still on my list. Dark Places and Demogorgons for Old School Ascensions, still on the list. So much I'm trying to get to read. Also trying to get to Grimwood City for Easy D6. There's a lot out there. I have so many books to read and review. This is going to be a lot of fun. So keep track of the channel, see what's going on, and I look forward to seeing you again. Until we do see each other again, folks, happy playing, everyone.